Well, Supercross is back at Angel Stadium this Saturday, which has always been a special place for Christian Craig. The fan favorite has raced plenty of times in Anaheim, including 3 wins under the Big A. But similar to a motocross course, it's been an up and down journey.
Christian Craig has been around motocross his whole life, following in the footsteps of his father, Mike Stingray Craig, a former pro.
What was it that sucked you in? When did you know that you were hooked on this?
Growing up, I was never really into it. I would go to all the races with my dad, watch him obviously, and it didn't hit me till I was like probably 12 is where it was like, okay, I like this. I want to try this. And around 15 or 16, you know if you're going to make it or not. You know, you got to start young at this sport and kind of build into it. And yeah, so around 15 or 16, I was like, all right, let's try to do this as a job. And I've been doing it ever since.
2009 was a big year for you for a number of reasons. You turned pro.
Yeah.
Tell me about that first year.
I actually went pro at X Games, which is I was very rare to go pro at that kind of event, but went that way and got 8th in my first pro event, and then went on to the big leagues, you call it.
While Christian was training for the 2010 season, he nearly lost his career and even more.
Was out like this, testing and riding, and had a bike malfunction, and next thing I know, I'm in the hospital with a broken back.
What do you remember from the accident?
I remember the whole crash actually, because I landed on my bottom. I didn't land on my head at all, so I did not lose consciousness. Right? It was all my lower back, and I actually lost feeling from my waist down. Really scary time. It felt like time was standing still. Just thinking that I would be in a wheelchair the rest of my life. They put me on the backboard, flipped me over, and it must have relieved my spinal cord, and I got all feeling back. And right then and there, I was like, I'm gonna walk again, and I was smiling ear to ear.
So what was the rehab process like? That must have been physically and mentally exhausting.
I think if I was later on in my life, I would have called it and never rode a dirt bike again, but I was 18, and as soon as I got feeling back in my legs, I was like, I'm gonna ride again. You know, that was my goal. A 12-hour surgery repairing my lower back, my L1 through L5. Had to relearn how to walk. Spent a month in a rehab facility in San Bernardino, and it was all kind of a blur.
Christian was able to return to the track, but continued to deal with injuries, leading to a surprising retirement announcement in 2013.
I felt like I was always on the sidelines, dealing with broken wrists, broken legs, or just something that kept me off the bike. And I kind of lost that spark of why I started. I met a girl, wanted to get married, start a family, and so I thought it was time to get a 9-to-5, and that's what we did.
Grow up, huh?
It was time to see what the normal life was.
How'd that go?
Loaded a U-Haul from Southern California, drove to Minnesota, got a 9-to-5 construction job, and it lasted about 1.5 years. And next thing you know, I was begging my wife to come back and give this racing thing again another shot.
Was that a leap of faith for her?
It was, and I know it was scary at the time, but I think that's what motivated me. A year later, I got my first Supercross win in 2016, and I think the rest was history. It was like, okay, we made the right choice. We're here now, and we're going to stick it out.
Christian's career took off from there, culminating in a Supercross championship in 2022.
Christian Craig, you're a Monster Energy AMA Supercross champion!
When I was laying there with a broken back, you know, I never thought I would be a Supercross champion, but to accomplish that in my life and have 3 kids and an amazing wife to go through that with me, it felt awesome.